Infinity Nerd Store presents.
Alright guys, so we move over to the GameCube now. The GameCube had quite a bit of Zelda titles, as you can see, in their library. Obviously, it started off with Wind Waker.
Correct. And the GameCube was one of my favorite systems back in the day. And I just want to remind you, Billy, that there was a lot of disappointment for some reason.
There was a lot of controversy with the cell shading.
Just because...
Because they made them look more cartoonish.
It was awesome.
That game is amazing. Like, even I was kind of apprehensive at first about playing it because I was like, well, it looks kind of different. But actually, once you actually play the game, the graphics are amazing.
Yeah.
The animation style is great. The story is great. I mean, overall, it's a great game.
That's what happens when you're judging a game without even playing it.
Yeah, I guess I was listening to too much of the hype at the time with everybody talking so bad about the game, and it's really a great game.
It's awesome. I mean, it's something that I never forgot until this day, and
do you still remember the last scene?
I did. Oh my gosh!
And it was like,
should I ruin it for everybody? Nah, just kidding.
It was amazing to see. It was like, what? He did what?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's such a great game.
Yes.
Such a great game.
I love that scene that they went under water and they went to the Hyrule Castle, and you'll see Zelda's father telling them about how Zelda's the one. Even though her name was Terra, there's this scene like there's this Triforce, and they're come together, and I just love that.
Yeah, it was a very, very good game.
The next in line was the one of my favorite games that had a compilation of a lot of games, actually, of the Master Quest.
Oh yes, it had the Master Quest and Ocarina of Time.
Were you able to beat that?
No, I played Ocarina again, but I didn't really get into the Master Quest much.
I loved it.
Yeah,
it was hard.
I heard it was.
But I recorded it, and I have 7 VHS tapes out of of playing it, and it was something that was just a great experience because I beat both of them on the GameCube version. Because at that time I had a lot of time, guys.
The GameCube version too. I love the GameCube controller.
Yes,
I still think that's one of Nintendo's best controllers that they made. I still like going back to the GameCube just because that controller feels so good.
You're right, man.
It's like a fine-tuned controller.
It was.
Which, if you notice, what Smash Brothers, what have they released on the Wii U and the Switch? GameCube controllers.
That shows you.
Yeah, they're very, very good controllers.
Of the love of the people that love the controller design.
I still have 2 Wavebirds for my GameCube.
Back in the day.
The Wavebirds were great.
The silver version.
Well, I have the silver and the regular.
Yeah.
And it's because that gave you wireless capability, and it was great.
I was kind of tired of the wired controller, and so experienced it with the wireless that I have at home as well. And
yeah, it's nice.
It was
nice
really
to
cool.
be able to play that. Then we go over here to the Zelda collection, and that actually gives you access to Zelda 2,
yes,
Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask, all on one disc.
And this is what I mentioned earlier of this video, that it took me many, many years to beat the original Legend of Zelda.
Did you beat it on here?
And I beat it on that version.
Oh, okay.
On that version, because I was able to save the game.
Now, these are still kind of hard to track down. I've had these for a little while. But it's awesome to be able to play these on the GameCube.
Yes, I agree with that. It was a great experience once again of replaying these games again. If you guys are able to find this and track it, buy it at the mom and pop shops. Hopefully they're there. They're not that expensive either.
So here I have Four Swords Adventures,
yes.
and I bought the big box version. And this version does have the cable to be able to connect with your Game Boy Advance.
Yes.
Which was cool to be able to do that with your GameCube.
Yes.
And it's another, like I said, 4-player. You can play with your friends. It's such a good game. It's better for me on this version because you could play it on your bigger TV than you could on your handheld.
You're right. I guess what Nintendo was trying to bringing friends together and for us to play with each other, the game and beating it. But it was just another long game.
Yeah, it was.
To beat.
But it's a fun game.
Yes.
It's a really fun game.
It was.
And then this game, Twilight Princess. Do you remember E3? Reggie Fils-Aimé goes on stage.
My name is Reggie. I'm about kicking ass. I'm about taking names. And we're about making games.
The very last game he brings up is Zelda Twilight Princess. And I watched the trailer, and that whole segment with him, his whole announcement was amazing.
Yeah.
Right? And then this game came out. I'm not going to lie, I teared up a little bit seeing this because that's the Zelda game I had been waiting for. Coming from a child playing the original NES versions and all the way up to this, I thought, there's the Link I'm looking for. There's the world I'm looking for. It's more mature. That makes sense?
Yes.
To me, so I was so excited about this game. And honestly, I didn't beat it on the GameCube. I actually beat it on the Wii, which the games are reversed.
Yes. Well,
I love this game.
Well, keep in mind, Billy, that was one of the last games for the GameCube.
Yes, it was.
So they wanted to focus more on the Wii. Nintendo was really smart to still continue on releasing the same game on the Wii, but you said it was reversed.
Yes.
And so I love the game, and I remember the E3 conference at that time. I was excited like you were.
I still love watching that.
Because this franchise, guys, you cannot play around with it. You have to. Nintendo has to understand and know that there's a huge fan base for this franchise. Yes. And when there was any, like, for example, this game that people didn't like, but then later on they found, that tells
everybody grew to love that
game. That tells you that the Nintendo fans are really serious about the Legend of Zelda series. They didn't want this cartoonish Link. They wanted this version.
But if you notice, the cartoonish Link got moved over to the 3DS games we just discussed.
Yes.
For Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. That still has that cartoony Link, which is great. I mean, everybody eventually warmed up to that version of Link.
Yeah.
But
at that time,
it was a big deal.
It was a big deal. Even
so
magazines.
I think that's why they went this route with the next Zelda game.
Yes.
The big Zelda title. They went more of
They listened.
Yeah. And I love this game.
The Twilight Princess, I love Link Wolf. And I love how they implemented some of the, like the healing song from the Ocarina of Time. They remade it here, but Link is singing with...
like a howl?
Yeah, a howling sound. And that was memorable for me, and ever since that, I was hooked. I loved it. It was a tough fighting scene with Ganon and Link, because you had to ride the horse. I don't know if you recall that. So yeah, Billy, that's my memory about the Wolf Link and how much I really adore that game. And let's not forget one more game.
I did forget to put on the table one more game, so let's go ahead and add in Zelda Skyward Sword. Another great title.
Guys,
I bought this version with the gold controller.
Yes.
And it also came with the soundtrack. It was the 25th anniversary.
Correct. It took me a couple of weeks to finally get my hands on that game, because that's the first time that I missed visiting the game store and they ran out. And this was one of my favorite games for the Wii. that the only thing that I just didn't like, as you know, do you know what it was?
The movement. Yeah, having to use movement.
I beat it, but that was another grind. But I enjoyed the story to it.
Yeah, so with the GameCube games, I went ahead and added the Wii in there because the Wii only really had Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and then Link's Crossbow, which I did not add into here because I don't know where my copy's at. And the rest of these games, like, these are all great titles.
They are.
These revisits here, Wind Waker's great. Obviously, this is a great game. I love this one, like I said. Top 5, this one's in my top 5 also.
Wow.
I really like this game.
Wow.
Yeah, I really did.
But this
one, though, is the one I told you that I played and I didn't finish.
I did.
So I didn't get far enough into it, I guess, to really experience the story, unfortunately.
I completed it twice, guys, and we'll get to that later on. This one, I love the relationship between Zelda and Link. This is the first time that you actually have more of an in-depth personality of knowing Zelda, of what she's all about. And that's something that you guys should be able to play right now.
Well, I do want to play it again, and we'll get to that here in a second. So,
you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so we're going to move over to a next set of games.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. All right, guys, and now let's move over to the Wii U. Now, the Wii U, unfortunately, wasn't a very popular system for Nintendo. I still enjoyed a lot of the games that did come out on it. So
either it was the marketing department that didn't... I don't know what happened.
They probably should not have named it a Wii U because
yeah.
everybody kind of got it confused with the Wii.
Because that system was amazing to play, guys.
It actually wasn't bad. I like the separate controllers.
Exactly.
And the graphics, it was the first time actually seeing more high-def graphics. The Wii didn't have that. So this system did, which is why it was cool when they started doing HD remakes. I love replaying both of those.
Exactly. Like, I feel the same way too. I didn't have this version yet because I bought the system that came with the Legend of Zelda that had this game already down. Like,
oh yeah.
It was you could download it, but it was a special edition for the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker system that in the future we'll introduce it towards our Retro Vault video next year. I love this game. I really like the statue here, Billy, from Ganon. That was like a memorable Ganon. That was something that I never would forget. But
I got lucky and was able to get this while I was working at GameStop.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
But like I also like this, even though I already played it twice from the GameCube and the Wii. I didn't beat this on the Wii U version.
I haven't beaten it on the Wii U version, but I've gotten pretty far.
Because I have mine sealed, guys. That's why I didn't even open it.
I bought this version of Twilight Princess because it had Amiibo figures, which Wii U had introduced. And this one was pretty cool because it did have Wolf Link and Midna.
Wasn't she beautiful at the end?
I think at the end she was.
It was awesome.
And I really like this game. I mean, this version was cool because like they did the HD.
I love the design that they did for her.
And then we had this game here, which this was the very last game, I believe, that was released on the Wii U.
Library. Which came out exactly the same time that the Switch came out.
You said there was a...
There's an error on this game, guys.
Yes.
Everyone, that please make sure that you guys may have a special game that if you guys see this here, all the different controllers, you got a good thing going.
This does work with an Amiibo as well, which we'll get to the Amiibos here in a little while. And then we have this game. And this one was completely different. Team Ninja worked on this one.
Yep.
And they also had worked on Dynasty Warriors.
Correct.
So this was kind of like a take on that with characters from Hyrule.
And a future game that we're going to talk about right now.
Yeah, we'll get to that one in a little bit. But yeah, this wasn't a bad game either.
I liked it. I thought it was different. It was kind of great that you have to show your competitive skills against other multiple enemies. But
it was a different take.
Yes.
But I enjoyed it.
But it had fun. More story towards the characters on each one. I love the Wii U. Unfortunately, it didn't do well. But in the end, I hope you guys like these games.
Yeah, so now I guess let's move over to the next set of games. Alright guys, so now we've moved over to Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch has already had a library of games that have come out that are actually pretty awesome.
Yes, they are.
Lead us off, Silos.
Well, as you guys can see, I mentioned earlier in our other previous videos that I buy doubles. One for an investment and the other one that I play. So this one's a sealed one. But I love this. This took about 20 hours for me to complete. but it was worth it because just like the Hyrule Warriors for the Wii U, this was a re-release
and a definitive, right? So it had all the downloadable
everything from the DS,
all the DLC. Yeah.
Yes, everything that you could think about, and I don't think they're at the stores anymore.
No, they're not. I have a copy as well.
And this is expensive too, I believe.
Yes.
Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. I was involved with the storyline of Breath of the Wild because I completed it, guys. And that took about, 100 hours worth to complete.
Which that's what this version is if you don't see it here.
I played it for like a year. A full year, guys, of just in and out and enjoying the scenery of the game, but we'll get to that right now. After completing Breath of the Wild, Billy, I wanted to know the continuation of the game. So I was really excited when Nintendo announced this game. And it's something that I liked it. And so I was used to playing this game on the Wii U and the Switch. So I really thoroughly enjoyed this game as well. Were you able to play this game?
I haven't played those two that much, but I have played them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Breath of the Wild. So I don't have the copy there because I actually have this version.
Yes.
This is actually the Master Edition. It has a statue of the Master Sword.
Yes.
So it's pretty awesome. I was able to get this one from my buddy Silos here. On a trade. Again. Was it worth it? Yes. Because I love Zelda.
Breath of the Wild was something that I never experienced with other gaming consoles of any game.
It's very open world.
Yes.
And that's one thing I really liked about it. The graphic style was different, which I really liked. Taking Zelda in another direction again, which Nintendo does tend to do that here or there. Eventually they'll move forward with a different way to play. And this is what they did here.
Earlier we talked about Triforce Heroes, that was a puzzle game. And for me, I'm not a big fan of puzzle games, but for me to play Breath of the Wild and completing those shrines that were puzzles, and I was amazed, and I wanted to conquer them on my own and not use a strategy guide. But in the end, some of the shrines I had to use the strategy guides. This game, Breath of the Wild, I don't know where I place it, Billy, because it's hard for me to figure out who's number one for me in my list, who's number two.
It is a really
game's
great
number three.
It's a really great game.
It is, and I'm thankful that I was able to complete the game. And yes, I did complete all the Korok seeds, even though I found out in the end that it wasn't what I thought it would be. You heard?
Yeah,
I'm not going to ruin it.
I looked it up online.
But I was saddened to find out what it was, so
Yeah.
I feel like all that time I wasted.
So then we move over to here. If you guys remember, we had Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, and then the DX version on Game Boy Color, and then we ended up having this version, which is a remake, and they did such an amazing job on this. I don't even know how to explain it. I mean,
Acclamation.
Almost,
like,
yeah.
Like the Nintendo
like Come
Power
to Life.
issue #1.
Yeah, like coming to life. It's a really great game. It really is. If you don't play the older versions, this is a great copy to play.
I love that game. I beaten it. It was just a joy to play. It's a short game, and I love short games like that. And I hope that Nintendo will follow the success of this game, and they could implement it with other maybe like Game Boy games.
Yeah, like Oracle of Seasons.
Yes.
Oracle of Ages.
Yes.
Maybe bring them into
or maybe the Link to the Past.
Or even that.
The original
Link to the
one.
Past would look great in this style.
It would
the way
be.
they did it.
It's something special that I would never forget.
And then here's the version we were just talking about. HD on the Switch instead of playing it on the Wii. You have this version now, which did come with some controllers that you could use if you still wanted to use motion control or not. You could use the way the Switch layout is now with the controller. So you have those two options if you still want to play the old way.
I played the old way, guys, and it was more enjoyable this second time around.
With the normal controls.
Yes, I loved it. I teared up at the end. I'm not going to ruin it, but it's a really, really heartwarming game.
Yeah, this is one I do need to revisit now that it is on Switch.
It's an HD version.
I'm going to try it.
It's awesome.
With the normal controls, or see if I'm going to have to just go back and...
Knowing you, Billy, knowing you may have to go this route.
I'll see.
Again, all these games are just wonderful to play so far. Hopefully Nintendo will announce more upcoming games from the Legend of Zelda series.
I hope so, yeah. I know that we're still waiting for Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I know that's
Can't
coming
forget
out.
about that one.
And with the Switch also, the Switch did continue the line of Amiibo figures. So
yes.
I guess maybe we can go over those.
Sure.
So we're gonna go over those now. All right, guys. So as you can see, here is all the Zelda amiibos that I'm aware of. The only one I don't have sitting here is the original amiibo that came out for Link. I actually opened that one. I probably shouldn't have, but this is the entire rest of them. So I have all the Breath of the Wild. I have your 30th anniversary. They came out with one for Skyward Sword also, and then obviously a couple of the Super Smash Brothers characters.
Well, I'll give you my amiibo that you're missing. And I just wanted to ask you a quick question. What an amazing collection you have here.
Thank you.
So, Billy, are you like me, dude, that I have like this similar collection as well, that I don't open the amiibos? Do you open yours?
So, when amiibos first started coming out, I did open a few.
Yeah.
And then after that, I kind of didn't. I like the way they're set up. I mean,
Yes.
they look like little statues. So, for me, I decided, you know what, it's almost like action figures.
Yes.
I don't want to open them.
Got it.
So, I do have quite a bit that I have open. And then after that, I just kind of reached a point where I was like, you know what, I'm not opening any of them. And the other problem I run into is I haven't figured out a way to track these. I'm sure there's an app or something. I have a lot of doubles of a lot of these, unfortunately, which I'll probably end up throwing up on the Infinity Nerd store on eBay because I don't need them.
Yeah.
You know, I just have extras.
The open ones.
No, these are sealed.
Okay.
I ended up buying doubles or triples sometimes
wow.
because I didn't remember if I had them.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
Got
so
it.
I didn't have a way to track them, so I do have quite a bit of doubles or triples of some of these figures, which I'll put up on this.
What's a great opportunity to resell them, so you can maximize the value of people that want to rebuy them that missed out from the beginning. So going back to this collection right here, which was your favorite amiibo that you see here?
I still like the old 8-bit looking one from way back in the day.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Ocarina. Those are two of my favorites. I really like the one from Link's Awakening.
Yes.
Because it really looks like the character from the video game.
From the video game.
Yeah, it's very brightly colored. I mean, it's really nice. The ones for Breath of the Wild are really well done, though. I mean, if you look at this, there's so much detail. Yeah, there's so much detail in them.
Like some of these amiibos, Billy, you could actually, if you open them, you could actually move like their legs, like the Guardian. You could actually, you know,
I didn't know
move
that.
it. It won't be like that. You could actually pretend that you're playing it or whatever.
Well, I mean, they're really cool. I like all of them.
Yeah.
You know, I like having the whole set. I didn't realize how many I actually had till I tried to, track these down for the video.
And
So
collecting
quite a bit.
amiibos is hot. Like it's like Pokemon cards. But wow, what an amazing collection! Brings back great memories, man. I mean, I have mine in my retro vault, and I just buy them and I just put them in, in my vault. But other than that, I'm just like, forget how beautiful they are.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah, they are.
Now, one thing you brought up earlier was strategy guides.
Yes.
So now we're gonna cut, and I'm gonna show you some of the strategy guides we have. All right, guys. So if you look here, now we have a whole library of strategy guides, magazines, so many different things to go over. I mean, I don't even know where to start. We put these up here because these are more of your original official guides for some of the original games. This giant thing here is actually Breath of the Wild book, deluxe edition. Here we have Hyrule Historia. I actually have the digital version, so I didn't open this version. This is the entire history of Hyrule and Zelda. So I bought every single collector's edition guide. So this one here is A Link Between Worlds. This is Twilight Princess, all the exclusive maps. I mean, everything's in here. They even give you a free mobile guide, which I thought was cool. Like, you have to open it, though, to get to it, so I still haven't done that.
No matter what, you still have to open it.
This is Majora's Mask. This is the version that came out on the 3DS, Triforce Heroes.
And this is my sealed Breath of the Wild, which that one's also my open one right there.
This one here.
That I actually took notes, Billy. I will write down whatever I completed section that I completed it. What a great feeling to accomplish a wonderful series, to 100% completed it. And that was my goal from my teenage years till up to today.
So that's your Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
And this is my Breath of the Wild. Mine's bigger. Just saying. Not that it matters.
I didn't know that came out.
Yeah, as soon as I found out this was coming out, I bought it. I had no idea it was this big of a book. I also have this here. Let's open her up. So if you see this, guys,
Wow.
so this here, that's your bookmark. It's gold, like the Hylian shield symbol. The Triforce is there.
That is awesome.
It came with this here, which is just a certificate of authenticity. Now this one is open. The books already come not wrapped. And then you have to just kind of pull here just to get one of them out.
Wow.
So the books just come out this way. So, and in this box set, we have the Wind Waker HD, Skyward Sword for the Wii, Ocarina of Time for the 3DS,
Yes.
Spirit Tracks, Twilight Princess, Phantom Hourglass. And they're all the collector's edition books, which is why I bought it.
That's so neat. I don't know why I missed that.
Now, here's the funny thing. You might have heard the song playing in the background during this video. This does not make a noise. It's just a flap.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Such a downer.
as
man.
much as I'm sure you guys were like, oh my god, does it really play that? No, it doesn't play that noise, unfortunately. But it is a nice little box set to have. I thought it was cool.
Mhm.
But I thought it was a cool little collector's item.
That is cool. I must have missed it, Billy, somehow. I don't know how.
It was, when I bought this, I want to say it was maybe $150.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe
Yeah,
$100.
I guess that's why I missed it,
Yeah,
guys.
something like that. I know it wasn't super expensive.
Yeah.
Considering the amount of books you get, it was reasonably priced. And I've never opened them. You know, that first time you pull
Yeah.
the book out, that's the first time I've actually done that with the book.
Wow, so that's the first time you actually...
Yeah, I just
opened-
pulled it out for here. It's just kind of in my vault.
Yeah.
And I would rather use like these kind of books.
Yeah, that's why I
to
just...
look
Out of this whole collection that I have...
That's a great one to have.
I like this one. This
Yeah.
was my favorite. I would always try to like make sure that I'm following step by step, guys, on the strategy guide.
I love the Nintendo Power guides.
I always wanted, but then it just disappointed me that Prima took over these strategy
They
guides.
did, yeah, they did.
And so sometimes they even come with posters as well, which is right here. This is a poster, kind of something like that would explain the chambers and to how to go to Ganon at the very end. I hope you guys like this presentation. What are your thoughts about the strategy guides?
I really like the strategy guides. Yeah, the only thing I can maybe add in is... Hold on real quick. Alright guys, so I also added just a couple little extra things. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the Legend of Zelda, and so is Silos. So I have this, it's just a little puzzle, 550 pieces.
Wow.
And it's of Majora's Mask.
Can you imagine like building it and like just getting
framing
a
it?
picture?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of doing. And then obviously I have Monopoly. I haven't opened it yet,
I'm good at Monopoly, guys.
so maybe one day we can play. But yeah, just a couple little extra items. I actually have a bag that came with the 3DS Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
A little bag that came from GameStop, you know, if you pre-order to purchase the game.
Yes.
And that's also a puzzle. I still haven't opened that one yet either. It's a small puzzle, but it's still pretty cool to have.
Wow, Billy. Overall, what an amazing collection from the games up to the strategy guides. And
If you notice here, guys, this one actually has a lot more going on for it than we had in the Metroid video, which had plenty of items.
Yes.
So this shows you, you know, we're big fans.
Yep.
For sure.
And we're happy to show it. So Billy, thank you so much for sharing your games and your magazines and your collectible amiibos and some other things like Monopoly. But what are your final thoughts about everything that we shared today? What are your thoughts about the series? What is it that you want to share to everyone here?
The Legend of Zelda has been one of those franchises that I've followed since Nintendo. I know that there's a few other items I don't have, and it's not like I'm trying to collect every single Zelda item. There was the CDI that had a couple games, which were horrible. If you remember, there was the Legend of Zelda cereal.
Yes, which I'll be glad to bring one day.
And there was a Legend of Zelda cartoon,
Yes.
which I have the entire series on DVD. If I could have found that in my vault, I would have brought that out too.
It's just so hard that you have so much stuff.
I've loved everything that's come out from the Legend of Zelda. I've loved every title that's come out, some more than others.
Yes, of course.
Some really hold a special place. Others are just kind of Triforce heroes, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, the franchise itself, it's a long-running series that I really, really enjoy. What about you?
Man, I'm really glad you shared that with everyone, and I would put you on the spot to just find out what were your top 5. Quickly, what would it be? What would
I
it be?
can give you my top 5, but I can't give them in order. This isn't no.
Okay,
order.
come on.
I can't do it in order because that would take some time to.
Yeah,
think
you're
about,
right. You're right.
Top 5.
No matter what it is.
Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
A Link to the Past. Twilight Princess. Wind Waker, and Breath of the Wild.
Got it. That's a great top
Now,
5.
that's my top 5. In order, I can't tell you. They all have something about them that really changed. Like, nothing against the original Zelda game.
Yes.
I love it. The second one is another great game. But when it got to Super Nintendo, oh my God, that just really blew it out of the water for me. And then moving over to 3D with, Ocarina of Time was a phenomenal game.
Yes.
And then I told you I loved the GameCube version.
Yes.
Once I got into it, I was a skeptic like some of the other people because I was listening to the hype.
Yeah.
But the animation was so great.
It was great.
Yeah, and then I told you the whole thing with Reggie Fils-Aimé and seeing Twilight Princess for the first time, and I love that game.
Yeah.
But then Breath of the Wild is just a whole new era of Zelda. So that has to be in my top 5.
Well, my top 5, Zelda 2 is included on my top 5. The original NES, the gold cartridge, because my brother loved that game. Toss up between the NES, Legend of Zelda 1, or maybe Breath of the Wild. Doesn't matter to me. I love both of those games. I can't go wrong with the Minish Cap.
Minish Cap.
I
is a
love
good
that
one.
game.
Yeah, Minish Cap is a good
So
one.
it's hard because there's so many different types.
There's so many titles.
There's so many titles, man.
Yeah.
And I don't want to kick myself later. Should I regret what I said?
Well, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons.
I love those games too. That's why I brought it to everybody's attention how much I love this game.
Yeah, those are 2 great games. It's really hard to make a top 5.
Yeah,
it's
so I didn't want to put you on the spot. That's why.
Like I said, while I'm trying to really, really think about it in my life,
yes,
playing these games, what really stands out real quick to me.
I didn't even mention for myself the Link to the Past or the Link
game.
Between Worlds.
A Link Between Worlds. See, that's another one.
See what I mean? So that's
really
why
hard
it's
to make
hard.
A top 5, man.
It's hard,
Yeah.
and I know you shared your top 5. I kind of suddenly shared my top 5, even though I wasn't confident, because I'm still thinking about the other games. Even Skyward Sword that I recently beat. I don't know what to choose. My top 5.
It's hard, man.
So if you guys want to add any comments to see what's your top 5, maybe we could unbox some of those games.
Maybe leave a comment below if you can come up with a quick top 5.
Yeah, but my memories of The Legend of Zelda, I had a great, wonderful childhood with my sisters, with my brother, and learning about the RPG element that I wasn't into that yet. Beating Zelda 2, that's when I started playing Zelda 1. Again, because I really enjoyed Zelda 2 and my brother loved Zelda 2. But Zelda 1, we couldn't have 8 hours of gameplay because we had to return it, either to a friend or rental. I'm really thankful that Nintendo created, or Miyamoto created, this wonderful character that we all love and care about.
Yeah, Miyamoto is a great man.
He is.
Yes.
Who would have known what the industry would look like right now if it wasn't for Nintendo?
Nintendo paved the way for a lot of things. Sometimes I don't feel like they get the respect that they deserve. For what they've done for the gaming industry, they deserve at least that respect.
You're right. And look what I'm holding right here. One of the best games ever made. Breath of the Wild. The Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, those games are following the footsteps of Breath of the Wild open world.
Well, a lot of them are following the same art style too.
Yeah.
I've noticed. Yeah.
You're right.
All right, guys. So hope you liked the video. Hope you liked us sharing pretty much a lot of Nintendo history with the Legend of Zelda franchise. And I guess we'll see you guys on the next one. Later.
Take care, guys.